Hey guys, Mr. Yisley here. So we are on to lesson number 12 in chapter 8, all about graphing quadratic functions. And in lesson 10 and 11, we talked all about how to graph functions in this form we see right here of f of x equals a times x minus h all squared and then plus k. And as we learned, that was known as vertex form. All right, because it's been factored down and we've got an a, an h, and a k, which we've worked with before in previous functions. Now in lesson 10 and 11, we worked really with the function f of x equals a times x minus h squared. So what we're adding in here on this lesson is the k. All right, so we are adding in the k on this for this upcoming lesson. Now, as you may remember, K deals specifically with vertical translations. So our K is going to tell us all about our vertical translation. And it works exactly as it should, if you remember how K's work. If it is positive, it moves upwards. If it's negative, it moves downwards, and the number tells you how many up or down. So really, what you learned about all in lesson 10 and 11 is going to be the exact same thing that we do here in lesson 12 and 13. Right? We're going to go through the exact same process. The only difference is now we're going to have a vertical translation up or down. So our process for graphing these, as we said before, exactly the same as before. We're going to start by graphing the axis of symmetry. And remember from the previous lesson that we find our axis of symmetry by x equals h. And remember, h always works as an opposite. So this is x equals h, and h works as an opposite. So if it looks like a negative number inside of the parenthesis, that means it's a positive number, right? If it looks like a positive number, it's really a negative number. So keep that in mind. After we've done that, then we are going to plot the vertex. And now again, if you remember, the vertex is found by both the h and the k. So h, comma, k. And again, h is opposite, k works exactly as it should. After we've graphed the axis of symmetry, after we've plotted the vertex, then we are going to choose two x values to the right, and we're going to plug them in to the function and solve. So we're going to plug them in and do, so just like we learned about earlier in the chapter. After that, though, we're just going to mirror those points to the left of the vertex. So we're going to plot them on the graph, and then we're going to mirror them across to the other side of the vertex. So that'll be kind of our last step. And then our last part here is we're going to draw a smooth curve through the points. Now, as you may remember, after we've got our graph drawn, then they're going to ask us for that comparison, and there are 4 things that we talk about. So a reminder of those 4 things right here, and let me move this up so we can see them. Right? The 4 things that we deal with, first one is the A. So do we have a vertical shift or shrink, vertical stretch or shrink? Second thing we deal with is the negative, which tells us reflection. Third thing is the K, which tells us vertical shift. And last thing we talk about is the H, which is horizontal shift. So just a reminder, those are the 4 things that we'll be comparing as well. All right, well, that's the basics of what we're going to do in lesson number 13. So if you have any additional questions, let me know. Otherwise, continue on to lesson number 13.